Okay, so you routed your route, and now you've made all the changes you need. You went ahead and went to your more options, put in the driving time, driving speeds, fuel cost, your fuel estimated fuel for your fuel consumption, your cost of gas, and your whether you want to go the quickest, shortest, or preferred road route. So you've done all that. You've set it up. You've went ahead and you've added any other addresses by simply typing them in here and adding them to route. You have added your starting point, which is your address, by typing it here and adding it to route. And you might want to do that twice because you want to make it as your starting point and your ending point, okay, which is your last stop. So the red is your last stop, the green is your starting place, and the yellow is everything in between. As you can see, here's your green, here's your red, so it tells you where you're going to end up and where you're going to start. It gives you your driving directions through here, and if you know all your stops or your main turns and everything like that. It gives you a summary of your driving distance, which is for this particular date. I'm going to travel 37.6 miles. My trip duration is about an hour and a half. Driving time about an hour and a half as well. My cost is $4.38. Again, this is keeping in mind everything that's in there. So that's how all this breaks down. Once you've had the time to look through all your summaries and setups, you are now ready to print. And the way we do the print here is you have an option of clicking print, or of course your normal file print option up here. Either way will work just fine. Okay, and that's it. Now keep in mind that if you just click this print option, it will just automatically print without giving you selections of your printing styles or your other selections. So you're better off going through the file menu, then you hit your print button, because it allows you to make other selections. Notice how this pop-up came up. If you just click the printer, it'll just go directly to your printer. Here you have options to select whether you want to print to your printer or if you want to print to an Adobe PDF file. In my example, I'm going to print to an Adobe PDF file so you can see the whole procedure. And this is also useful if you wanted to go ahead and let's say that your printer's broken and you were going to print at a friend's house or at Kinko's or anything like that. You're better off printing to a PDF file. This way you can take it with you and print it from anywhere. So again, this is good if your printer is damaged and you're gonna have a friend print for you. You can just email it to them and they'll print it. But once you're in your print option, and again for this example I'm using my PDF file, keep in mind that printers a lot of the times to save paper, depending on the printer you have, I'm going to show you these options as well. In my example, my printer allows me to select different options where I can go ahead and print double-sided prints. This way it doesn't waste any paper, but yours may be different, so we won't cover that right now. But we're going to go ahead and print to a PDF file, as I said earlier. That way you can see the whole print procedure. Now, I like to include an overview of the map, and you can include a legend if you want. I prefer not to include one, and I like to extend it to fit, and you have your different options throughout here. So I like to include an overview map, which means it'll be a light little one. I don't like that, so I uncheck it. This is what I normally use: landscape, extend view to fit page, and of course your copy here. And then you're gonna go to more options, and I like to use strip maps, include an overview. So again, this is my setup. Extend. You have either driving directions only. Notice how all it does is give you the words turn by turn, and it's just a bunch of maps, or strip maps, which gives you the map on one side and the directions on the right side. And I like to include an overview map again, which is the total map of your whole area. Then you can go to more options, and I like to print high detail strip maps using more pages, which it'll eat up more paper, but it'll give you more details. And then you just hit OK and hit OK, and it'll print. Again, here's a selection: extend view to fit page, include overview maps, strip maps, more options, high detail. Okay? Now, you may prefer something else. I'm just telling you what I use and happens to work pretty good. I hit OK, and it'll print all your maps. Now, when you use a PDF printer, it usually will show you where you want to save that file to. And again, remember that you're printing into a PDF document, which is a file. This only applies if you're not printing directly to your printer. So keep in mind that this is just for the sake of an example. But if you do decide to use a PDF file, you go ahead and give it a name, hit save, and it'll save it to wherever you want to choose, your desktop or whatever it is. And then you will be able to see the final product. Okay? So here's what your print would look like. Again, this is your whole map. It has your starting point, your ending point, and all your stops and your page by page. And this is based on the selection that I showed you earlier. So your final product will look like this once you print it to your printer. Okay? And of course, depending on whether you have a color printer or not, you will notice the different highlights and venues. So this concludes importing to Streets and Trips and creating your route and planning out your day. Thanks.